the chemistry and essential material of our life is the water. So today we discuss about the softening of water. The case is the hard water. So how hard water can make into the soft water, that is the use of various chemicals, and certainly number of certain technologies are available by which we can get the soft water. Softness, hardness, the part of the life, and those are related with the chemistry. How we get the soft water, how we get the hard water, the chemistry of water. So in chemistry of water, that relates with the hardness present in a water sample. What is the hardness and how this can affects our life? Even the different technologies available. The most important concern is the boiler, and boiler itself is one of the instrument equipment by which the power is generated. So thermal power plant, the boiler. In case of the nuclear power plant, the boiler. And boiler consumes the water. Why? Water is converted into steam, and that steam is utilized for the steam turbine and generates the electricity. So the major concern is the boilers, and boilers have a great applications in different industries because steam itself is the power, whatever the power by which we can run the machine. All of you are well known about the James Watt, the steam engine who invented. That is because of the water. So water undergo the process of the boiling of water, and that gives the vapors, and further vapors we get the steams, and steam having the more and more pressure, and when this steam with the steam turbines, the turbine moves, electricity is generated. So the role of water is important in different industries, different technologies. Whatever that electricity, the hydroelectricity we have to, that is because of the waterfall. But nuclear energy, that is converted into the chemical energy, that is converted into the that particular heat is utilized for the boiling of water. So boilers are very big boilers available, even because of the electricity generation, big boilers are there. And one more thing is there, and that is the drinking water. So if suppose in drinking water, hard water is there, certainly hard water have certain chemicals which are responsible to produce the hardness. And what about the hardness? Hardness is too hard, the lathering phenomena, when during the washing of clothes with the soap. So lathering phenomena itself is registered by certain chemicals available in the water, and those are the hardness causing materials, chemicals. Certainly, so they may also affect our life, our body also, because of we are drinking the water. So which water is what we are using, the drinking water. So is that water is sufficient for us? If hardness is more and more, then what will be the adverse effect on the human organs? Definitely, the hardness causing adverse effect on health also. So we have to see how hard water can be softened. Certainly, so many methods, including the chemical methods, addition of the certain chemicals, certain most efficient chemicals such as soda, sodium carbonate, sodium washing soda, sodium carbonate, and the lime, calcium oxide, calcium hydroxide. So that with the help of those chemicals, hard water can be softened. So now today, let's we have the next slide, and in the next slide we can see this the softening of hard water. What is the soft water and hard water? What are the causes of the hardness? What are the types of hardness? What are the disadvantages of hard water? So today we have to learn about these, the soft water. So how we can say that particular given sample of water is soft? The nature of water is the softness. So how we can who can decide? The chemistry. Chemistry is responsible to give the soft water or the hard water. So here, because of the chemistry, certain chemicals which are responsible for the hardness. So if we have to remove those chemicals, then definitely hard water can be removed and the softness coming. So this is also well known in our life. The persons we can say that some person is hard, some one person is the soft. So the chemistry relates with the life. So hardness, some persons are hard, very hard. Some persons are moderately hard. Some persons are the poor hard. So similar to that, here the hardness in water can be decided that they're affecting human body as well as something industrial technology, whatever the because of the water we get the boilers and boilers have the adverse effect, that is the industrial part. So now we have also something, for example, if sugar industry is there and we are using the hard water, so hardness present in water definitely giving the poor quality of sugar. So that is the because of the hardness. Here the degree of hardness, that is the parameter, different parameters of hardness, and what parameters are useful in a drinking water specification. So certainly today we have to discuss about these. What are the disadvantages? What are the degree of hardness? What are the units? So let's first of all we have to come to the one thing, that is the where the hardness is added. Something different. Water resources, from in which water resources hardness causing materials are added. So first one, the surface water, the sea, oceans, streams, rivers, lakes, reservoir. So these are the different water resources. So we can say that particular water resources, and definitely uh, there are the different sources available. Surface water is available. So what we have to see the surface water in various reservoirs. The most one is the sea and ocean, but there may be the rivers, there may be the lakes, there may be the drainage. So whatever you can say, the different water resources are available, and those water resources definitely decides that is there any hardness causing when our materials are coming because of. so many resources because surface water itself have added number of chemicals. We can't decide where there is no decision that which chemical go to the surface water. So definitely the hardness causing chemicals are added into the surface water. See the streams, rivers, lakes, reservoirs, wetland. These are the surface water in which the wetland is also having the water. The groundwater, which make up around 22% of the water we use in the water beneath the Earth's surface, this is about 22% is used, and the rest is the surface water. Where this groundwater is present in the beds of rocks, there is a certain openings where and sand. So here, in case of the sand, that is the meadows where the capillary action. So groundwater is there, and when we get the deepness, when the exploitation of the soil water, so capillary action in the soil water, but because of the high exploitation of water by human being, so therefore that particular water itself is no more in that. So then the deepness of waters where the rocks are there, all of you have well known about the rocks are certainly certain inorganic chemicals are made up of, for example, calcium carbonate, calcium bicarbonate, whatever different magnesium uh, containing rocks, calcium containing rocks, yeah, iron containing rocks. So those rocks in which the there a certain opening in the rocks bad the water is present. In the name aquifers are there. So groundwater, the third one, this is always whatever this can also give the adverse effect rainwater. Why? Because if more of amount of rain is poured, then definitely so many impurities are added. But let's say what happen, that particular water can be causes the flood. So the two ways of the rain. If rain is not there, there will be the adverse effect of the what we have the drought. So drought and floods are responsible from whatever the available water resource. So the third one, rain is also important one. So we have to manage that particular water, rainwater harvesting structures, rainwater management, rainwater. What are different types of harvesting of the rain? Because but what we have the certain problems in our coming life, and that is because rainwater is not conserved at all. So rainwater harvesting itself is important part because the heavy exploitation because of the human population increase, and definitely human population when increase the exploitation of water is more and more. So we have to see that particular the rainwater, the first one surface, the ground, underground, then the rain itself, the natural phenomena. So whatever the in India there is the monsoon. Well, in monsoon, certain monsoon weather is there. So in monsoon weather, the rain is fall. So here in India, the value, the importance of all these three water resources is there. Now the other, the wastewater, storm water, whatever I have discussed, the flood, storming of the water during the rain, where it goes, this can increase the hardness because of the certain chemicals are added. So water resources. Now we have the next one, and here the wastewater. This is also So now, here, water is what is. What about the water? Anyone can have explain. Is there any chemical composition, any contamination? Have the fixed contamination, or whatever any pollution in water? So there is no fixing. Why? No any. We can say that particular water having this type of contamination. So such type of contamination, whatever that. So here, water itself is the inorganic material we have. The transparent, the tasteless, the odorless, nearly colorless chemical substances. So here, water itself is the very transparent. So water molecule consists of the two hydrogen and centrally oxygen atom is present. And those hydrogen, two hydrogen attached with the oxygen, the formation of V shape molecule, that is the sp3 hybrid water molecule, and where the bond angles are there. So V shape of the water is there because of the sp3 hybridization. Whatever there may be, the what do we have, the polar uh, material also. So water is the main constituent of Earth hydrosphere and flood of most of the living organisms, because so many um, living organisms highly depends on the water, because their cell structure, the in case of the cell structure, what we have, the that is the main constituent of earth, hydrosphere, plus of most living organisms, vital for all known forms of life, even though of provides no calories or organic nutrient. So one more thing is there. Why water is the vital one? One thing. So how we can say that vitality is present in a sample of water, whether they can give the energy. So why? Because this is a medium of all. How medium? In our body, any of the transportation, any of the mechanism, any of the cell mechanism, any of the life mechanism, those are because of the water. Water is one of the material liquid material in which different flexing, different cleaning of our body organs because of the water. Because water take the impurities from the blood, whatever the mechanism concerned with the respiration also. So here we can say the different water resources are there, and the most one, the rainwater, whatever that certainly we can say that there are the conflicts between. So vital of material, because this can directly proportionate with the. Now, how many types of hardness? There are the two types of the hardness, and two types. The first one is the permanent hardness, temporary hardness. Two different types of hardness. So how we can say the permanent hardness and temporary hardness? How we can say this is because of the certain chemicals are responsible for the hardness causing material, and certain are not, but they have both have the effect. The contamination, whatever the pure water, that is not the way. Here, the permanent and temporary two different types of hardness are there, and permanent responsible by calcium, magnesium, and transition metal compounds. The temporary, that is in the form of bicarbonate, those are present in a water sample. So bicarbonate are responsible, and some carbonates are also responsible for the temporary hardness. So now, what are the causes? What gives the hardness into the water? So which chemicals are responsible to give the hardness of the, so increase the hardness? Which one? Definitely. There are certain chemicals are responsible when we see the periodic table. So in case of the periodic table, the group first A, group second A. So here the group 1 and group 2. So in when we have to see the number of elements present in group 1 and group 2, here the calcium, magnesium, aluminum. Those are the whatever those calcium, magnesium, aluminum, calcium itself, magnesium, both are present in a group number 2, and those causes uh, the hardness present. So whatever the effect of hardness of water, this can also be we have to see that particular, because of the hardness, various uh, adverse effect of human beings are there. How the hardness can cause so many different organs can be damaged, even the most important kidney, and that we have to see the deposition of those particular um, permanent hardness molecule, and certainly there will be uh, the life direct proportionate with the availability of the water. What which type of water is available, that we can say, that is because that is must be, that is acceptable. What is that? That is not there. So water is acceptable whether in water there is the more amount of more amount of uh, hardness causing material. That is not the issue. So here, that must be taken only by the chemist, and then therefore we have the water chemistry is also, because that is the certainly calcium, magnesium, aluminum, iron salts, and those affects the water. Now, the next slide. So, for this purpose, we have to see the what are the chemicals responsible for the permanent hardness touching. Calcium sulfate, all of you are well known about the calcium sulfate. The second, the magnesium sulfate, MgSO4. Third, calcium chloride or magnesium iodide. So here, when we see the responsibility of these chemicals to give the permanent hardness, and those cannot be removed in overall. Calcium sulfate, the molecular formula CaSO4, ROP are well known about the uh, whatever that also that present in the earth crust. So calcium sulfate is present in the earth crust. Magnesium sulfate, okay, calcium chloride, magnesium chloride, permanent hardness causing. Now, which chemicals are responsible for the temporary hardness? Carbonate. Over the carbonate. All of you are well known about the carbonates. So, because that is present in the nature, calcium carbonate is present in the nature in the form of the limestone. So here, temporary their hardness is because of these chemicals. So here you can calculate the molecular weight and you give the comparison to the other other chemicals responsible. Magnesium carbonate, magnesium bicarbonate. What is the formula of magnesium bicarbonate? Magnesium, then in bracket HCO3, all of 2, calcium hydroxide, because of the here we get that particular calcium hydroxide is also natural. So this can also affect the whole of the magnesium hydroxide. Here something we have to add first of all, then gives the answer. So one more thing is there. What is the unit of the hardness? How we can say that particular water is hard water, and how can say the same way that particular water is soft hard. So here some of the measure how we can measure the amount of hardness present in water, and there are certainly Some units are there, and most of the units we have, the about 5 units are responsible. Based on the availability, we can have the 5 different units of hardness. Degree of hardness, that is the amount milligram per liter of the calcium carbonate. That is the degree of hardness. So if suppose 600 milligram per liter is there, then we can say the 60 ppm. So now magnesium, here the milligram per liter, the parts per million, the degree Clark, okay. Then the French degree, FR, that can be used, FR French degree, then milli equivalent. Milli equivalent, that is because of the whatever we can say the equivalent weight. So equivalent weight correlates with the milli of the equivalent. So milli equivalent is responsible. Whatever the first of we have to see the equivalent weight. So in case of the equivalent weight of calcium carbonate, definitely that is related with the certain other. So now we can say here the parameters milligram per liter of calcium carbonate, ppm level, ppm parts per million, and the degree Clark, the third one, and then French degree, the fourth one, and then milli equivalent, the fifth one. So these 5 units are to be explained when we have the want the degree. Here are the some of the methods by which hard water can be softened. So I have already discussed that there may be the possibility of a mechanical system by which the hard water can get the soft water. Here, some of the chemicals are responsible. And first method is the lime soda method, where the addition of lime and soda, and because of the addition of lime, certain hardness causing chemicals are to be extracted. So here those particular, if suppose any of the, so here the hardness causing chemicals such as we have already discussed, the calcium carbonate, the calcium sulfate, the magnesium bicarbonate, magnesium sulfate, magnesium chloride. So those are the chemicals which are responsible to cause the hardness. So now, because chemicals are removed by the certain chemicals, what about the reaction? A plus B gives the product. So then, but how we can see that that particular the reaction is completed? So here, what happen? Here the precipitation. Whatever those particular hardness causing chemicals uh, are related with the added lime and soda. So in case of the lime and soda, both can remove the temporary and permanent hardness causing. Permanent hardness, whatever that is related with the, we have already discussed mostly the bicarbonate and carbonate of the. So lime soda method, here the addition of lime, and what about what is the lime? Animal and soda. Soda and lime, those are available on earth free of cost. How these are the free of cost? Because the soda itself is present on the surface of mostly the sea area, sea shore, sea coastal area. So where the sodium carbonate or whatever, that is the washing soda, sodium carbonate. However, there certain water molecules are there. And what is the lime? Lime is what? In case of the lime, this is also the simple calcium carbonate. So calcium carbonate is responsible. So lime here, the lime itself is converted into calcium hydroxide because calcium carbonate converted into calcium oxide and further water. So water, uh, so 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 those are the soluble in that particular case. So what happen if soda and the hardness causing materials those both reacts with each other and form and something in the lastly we get the precipitation. So that particular precipitation can be removed with the simple the flashing. So here the certain and further the the precipitation itself is also removed. So and one more thing is the permutite. Permutite itself is the boiling stone, but was very soft, but in those pores of the boiling stone. Permutite method is concerned with the geolite, and geolite, the whatever that is the burning stones. So burning stones permutite in nature present. Naturally, permutite are present. Geolite, another synonym, another name of the permutite. So we have to see that particular uh, permutite, specific permutite. So because of the permutite, they can here the permutites are arranged in a form of the filter. So hard water come over the permutites come over the whatever geolite. Geolite is also so geolite and permutite. Then those are in the form of the sieve. So water through the sieve, and then we get that particular water having the very less amount of the chemical. So here we get that particular temporary whatever the permutite, then the ion exchange. This method is also one of the important part of the. So in case of the ion exchange, ions are exchanged. Which ions are exchanged? So certainly here the ion exchanger mechanism that can prove the better. So because all ions are removed from the water and that is like a deionized water. So what happened? In case of the ion exchange process, and we have the certain technology, certain treatment technologies. So here that is the particular ion demineralization. Ion exchange, whatever ions are exchanged, hydrogen plus hydroxyl negative. So that is the what we have the to the concern parameter. So ion exchange is also the desalination, deionization, demineralization. Various names are there. So certainly these are the one of that is the reverse osmosis system. So reverse osmosis system can be also used for the water treatment. What is the osmosis process? Here, through the filter, through the something, mm, the water is passed. And osmosis, the phenomena, that is the concentration depends. Concentration of what? Concentration of the chemicals. What chemicals? Hardness causing chemicals. If we have the calcium sulfate, calcium carbonate in water, calcium bicarbonate, magnesium bicarbonate, those chemicals. So, through the osmosis phenomena, the water can be transferred. Here, but one more thing is there that is because of the concentration. So, here we have the another part. Because of the concentration issue, the water can flow from the. So, therefore, the reverse osmosis techniques are used. What is the reverse? reverse of the osmosis. So here, if suppose water flow from here to there, that will be reverse, and that can be reversed with the help of the reverse osmosis. So this method is also one of the important. So there are certainly we have to see number of trends. So here again uh, we can say the lime soda method, limestone, limestone calcium carbonate, that is this is further converted into the lime, and that is the calcium carbonate is burnt at high temperature. So so here the carbon dioxide is removed and calcium oxide is we get calcium oxide. This is the lime, like a lime, but this is the whatever in this particular case calcium oxide, this one is the slaked lime. But in generally, when the calcium oxide is added into water, that will be the calcium hydroxide. So because of those calcium hydroxide, that is in the form of the calcium oxide, and definitely they reacts, calcium hydroxide reacts with the uh, hardness causing material in water, and then definitely those can be removed. The permutate zeolite method, this we have already discussed. Through that the water is flow, the demineralization where all the water minerals can be removed. So all of the hardness causing can be removed. So here, what about the disadvantage of these water? This is one of the industrial example. So industrial, the manufacture of the steam. So what happened during the manufacture of steam? The boiler container containing water, and this boiler water is converted into the steam. So that is what we have. The high temperature in steam is there as compared with the water. So this was observed if water is consumed by different industries regularly. Hard water is used regularly by different industries, so that must be avoided. For that purpose, what we have, so here the boiler, one thing, and boiler having containing the water. So because of that, here are the some of the problems, the scale and sludge. Whatever, what is the scaling? What is the sludge? So therefore, uh, certain boiler corrosion. We have already discussed the corrosion in the corrosion topics. So here also what we have that is the caustic embrittlement. One thing, the boiler corrosion. Second thing, caustic outcomes. So whatever those caustics outcomes are there, and that is the embrittlement, caustic embrittlement. Fourth one is the priming and foaming. This is well known how we can get the priming. The foams are formed because of the water. So these are whatever there are certainly certain problems appears in boiler case, and boiler almost used for the industrial purpose. So let's we have the another part, and this is the same thing. Whatever the preliminary methods are also included. So here, boiler feed water treatment. Then in the power plant, what happened? There was adverse effect. So in the steam boiler industry, we have already discussed what is the steam and how this can be utilized for the industrial purposes. So all of you have well known about that. The industrial boiler, and we want to add the boil water, and something the pressure is also there. So the steam boiler industry means with the power plant related. So relation, those are the power plant. If suppose we have the nuclear power plant, then definitely that particular energy is utilized for the purpose of the drinking water. So in the steam boiler industry, high purify feed water is required. So why? Because there may be certain adverse effect on the on human health. So whatever in the steam of boiler, high purity feed water is required to ensure proper operation of steam generation. High purity feed water to reduce the use of the boiler chemical due to less frequency blowdown. So this can reducing blowdown frequency by as much as the factor of 10 lower blowdown. So here I can give one more thing is there. Whatever certain um, uh, adverse effects are there, and before that we can come, all of you are well known about this, uh, that certain chemicals are responsible. So those particular chemicals are removed either by the mechanical, the filtering phenomena, or the addition of the chemical. So soda lime method and that particular the responsible chemicals in soda lime method are so many. So here we can say the water can be softened. This is must because very hardness causing materials are added into the water resources, and those water resources definitely gives the hardness in uh, uh, definitely certain chemicals are responsible to give the hardness of water. Here the calcium sulfate, magnesium sulfate, calcium chloride, magnesium chloride responsible for that permanent hardness. Then the temporary calcium bicarbonate, magnesium carbonate, calcium bicarbonate, calcium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide. Here, how we can calculate this is the very simple way. So calcium carbonate, if that is responsible for that. Now, so here we can conclude overall that hard water can be softened with the help of certain chemical method as well as certain mechanical something that is the very easy permutate process. In case of the permutate itself, those can be uh, whatever permutate is the very simple like a filtering phenomena, very simple phenomena, where the hardness causing inorganic ions, inorganic cations, inorganic chemicals are attached to the permutate, and then that particular permutate method is also relevant with the softening of water. Third one, deionization. D D whatever the reverse osmosis. So here we can put the D, and because of that particular we can see the design is important part. So in case of the reverse osmosis system, that is also the design of reverse osmosis system, because we can say high high amount of uh, certain required chemicals are deposited because of the boilers. So in the steam boiler, whatever we can say, and now overall we can say that useful methods, and here the chemical method is one of the very useful and economically viable, because addition of chemicals, the lime, the soda, and here something the cold condition or hot condition. So therefore they have changed and designed because we want the soap water. Because of the hardness causing material, adverse effects appears in human body, and certainly we can say the number of chemicals are responsible and how so those can be removed with the help of the chemicals. And chemicals mostly we have discussed about the well known, that is the uh, what we have to see chemicals, lime and soda, that is more economically viable. But in case of the permutate, whatever that particular filtering like a sieve. And the last one, demineralization, where all minerals can be removed with the help of the uh, whatever the filters. So through that filter, here opposite to the force, and that is the reverse osmosis. So reverse osmosis is also very important, but because of their certain disadvantages of reverse osmosis, because all chemicals, all nutrients, because I have given earlier that water itself is a vital material, and that because vital, number of human body, number of human body having the different organs, and different organs, then some organs are the most urgent at this particular. So here, because of the pollutants, so suddenly we can complete this system which can RO and ion exchange. So there may be the combination. There may be the treatment plants having the hybrid system, because we have already discussed whatever. Uh, so when we get the hard water, that must not kept in the, so that must be uh, treated before use. Mostly in the most important one is the electricity generation. So let's say we have to uh, wind up. Whatever, thanks to all of you, and many of students have learned from me, and I hope that you have to subscribe this particular channel and get my different video lectures. So there is the overall water, hard water can be softened. Hard water can be softened with number of methods, and then the best method is the whatever we have discussed, demineralization, but whatever it is very difficult. So let's all of you have okay. So now we have I think all of you have learned uh, from me from this presentation, and that is